Sorry for that. Hello, everybody. Namaskaram. Vanakkam. Good evening to all of you present here today for our session. So, online singing is ஒரு buzzword in சொல்லலாம். Something which has started after the pandemic. And அதில் வந்து நல்ல விஷயங்கள் as well as both bad things have happened. The thing is, இப்போ stage performances-ங்கிறது sort of, took a back seat at that time. But at the same time, online singing வரது, a lot of new singers actually took up to the stage and ஒரு fearless-ஆ நிறைய பேர் பாட ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க. So in a way, we need to be thankful to that. But when it comes to this kind of online singing, we tend to forget or neglect a few things or a few details. பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்க we normally வந்து ஒரு கரெக்டா உட்காந்து பாடுறதோ or keeping your mic and things at a proper distance or having the right kind of equipment, these things we tend to like neglect and ஒரு நன்னா வரக்கூடிய ஒரு performance tends to become fall short a bit. So இந்த மாதிரி issues address பண்றதுக்கு and to enable us or to give us a lot of tips and tricks on how to make your online singing or performance to be effective, I have today singer Mr. Vinod Venugopal with us here today. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
கொஞ்சம் close little closer probably.
Hello, கேக்குதா?
Yeah, slightly better. Yeah. Yes, sir, you can. Yeah.
No, so saying thank you, and yeah, this is a very passionate subject for me. ஏன்னா இன்னைக்கு வந்து நிறைய காம்படிஷன்ஸ் இப்போ முன்னாடி எல்லாம் டைரக்டா பிசிக்கலா ஒரு வென்யூல போய் நாங்க ஜட்ஜ் பண்ணியிருந்தோம். பட் இன்னைக்கு எல்லாமே ஆன்லைன் தான். நிறைய காம்படிஷன்ஸ் நடக்குது. பாஸ்ட் 2 years எக்கச்சக்க காம்படிஷன். ஸோ அங்கெல்லாம் போச்சு we realized one thing is that lot of talents, good talents, unfortunately அவங்களோட அந்த டேலண்ட் வந்து அவங்க சிங்கிங்ல when we hear it online it doesn't sound good. A guy who's lesser talented probably has got better equipment and sounding much better.
Very
so
true.
ultimately what happens is that person tends to get all the credits. So it's very it's something that you really need to focus on. Most singers need to do that. So அதனால இது ரொம்ப நல்ல விஷயம் தான். Thanks to Guy that you took up something like this. I suggested this to you. You were game for it. That says a lot about your passion towards music. So,
thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much for that.
So are we having other participants on screen or are they back?
Yeah, there are other participants on stream as well. So before we kind of begin, Minga Kunjo Vanda, can you tell us like what are like the என்ன சொல்றது இப்போ எல்லாருக்குமே when you say that you need to have equipment and things like that, people என்ன they fancy that you need something ரொம்ப elaborate, அது ரொம்ப எக்ஸ்பென்சிவா ஏதோ வாங்கி வச்சுக்கணும் போல் இருக்கு, இதெல்லாம் நமக்கு தெரியவே தெரியாது, we don't know how to even use ஒரு அதாவது அதை பார்த்து படிச்சு புரிஞ்சுக்க கூட பொறுமை இருக்க மாட்டேங்கிறது. So what is kind of the minimal setup which you would suggest to give a decent online performance?
Okay. Before that, I just wanted to ask, Facebook is the live stream available? Is there a link on Facebook? Because on your page, I don't see this stream going live. Facebook live stream is போயிட்டு இருக்கா?
Yeah, it's going on.
Because I don't see a link. I thought of sharing this link, but Guy for
One second, I'll send across the link if you want.
Yeah. Because on Facebook, I don't see a live stream happening on your page, Guy.
It is going on. One second, I'll send you one chat. People are viewing us.
Yeah, I don't find it there. No, you have sent me a link to StreamYard. I'm asking the Facebook link. Are we?
I put it in the chat. Okay, one second.
In your chat. I want it on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I'll just share it so that my page people also can comment.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So equipment. Tamil is okay, or should I go English?
Whatever is comfortable with you, sir.
Maybe I'll go English because
yeah, sure.
I know for a fact there's some people from North India also watching, so I'll go English. That's easier.
Okay, sure.
So the moment you speak about equipment, people immediately start thinking A.R. Rahman. They go into that level. Is my volume
Exactly.
low or something? Is my
Little
volume
bit.
low?
Yeah.
Or so what should I do for that? Wait 1 second. Let me see if this one is this okay? Now is it
Yeah,
clear?
yeah. Much better.
Much better. Okay. So immediately people start thinking of equipment in terms of money, and equipment now you need to have all the fancy latest gadgets. So it's not like that. To very
Okay.
simply break it down for a singer, I'm talking from a singer's perspective only.
Mm-hmm.
So when you want to go live, there are two things. Basic.
Okay.
Let's start from the basic. You have an audio part to it and a video part to it.
You're right.
Now the easiest way to go live is
Mm.
keep your mobile on a stand, put it on the front camera, and go to Facebook and say go live. You're live.
Okay. Okay.
Now, if you have a good phone and you have a good lighting in your room, the video part of it will look very nice. Again, there you don't go and sit on an unmade bed and where all clothes hanging in your room and stuff like that. You avoid that. Look at your surroundings. Keep it. If you don't have a big background, also just go plain wall. Even a
Correct.
plain wall is fine, but don't show the junk in your room. So that's the visual part of it. Most of them get it right. You have a good camera, and anyway, Facebook and most of these social media platforms, they don't stream HD, full HD, unless it's YouTube. YouTube can go up to 4K also, but
Okay.
most of Facebook and places like that, it's mostly 720p. So you have a good camera phone with a decent front camera, you're set. Your video will look nice, you will look nice. Now, what happens to the audio? When you click live on, let me take one social media platform to keep it simple. So let me go with Facebook. So Facebook la vandu you go and click go live. Now you're live, your video is there, you can sing, you will be heard. All that is fine. But your video will look nice. If it's an iPhone, you look very good. And your audio will sound very, very average. Because the videos, audio is getting picked up by the mic from the phone. So which is not the way to do a professional audio listen for a listener. That experience will not be there. So what do you do? So that is where you need these kind of equipment. So basically, what you need is a place, because as a singer you want to sing with tracks. Most likely you'll be singing with tracks. So you need tracks. You need your voice. So you have one place which will play your source to play your tracks, which probably can be a laptop or any device. You're playing
Okay.
your tracks from there, then you're singing on a mic. So you need to connect your mic, you need to connect your tracks. So basically, a mixer does this job. So a mixer today, a basic mixer, 4 channels. Channels are those points where you connect these inputs. So those channels you have, what you're going to use maximum for a solo singing session is maximum 3 channels. Okay, when I'll talk about what those channels are a little later. So maximum you'll be using 3, and if it's a duet, you'll be using 4. So 4 channel mixer is good enough. Or you want to plan ahead, probably you go for an 8 channel mixer. So basic 8 channel mixer will cost you something like 10,000 to 12,000 rupees. Okay, so you get a basic mixer. Now you have your input is now taken care of. You can sing. The mic is there. Your tracks are there. All this is connected to the mixer. Now, how to take from the mixer to your phone? That's what you want to do ultimately. So a phone cannot handle the output given from the mixer, because a phone is not a professional audio device. Its purpose is totally different. So that is where you need an interface. So from your mixer to your phone, you need something in between called an interface. So what this does is it takes the input from the mixer and makes it good enough for your phone to understand what this is and give you output. So this is the very, very basic way of putting it. This is what you need. Now in this mixer, you have 2 types of mixer. One which does not have a USB output. It only has the regular XLR, and so that's something that I need to discuss. What is XLR and all? We'll come to that. So you need that kind of mixer which has a USB output. So you have to take the USB output, connect it to this device, and then connect it to your phone. So this is the basic setup that you have, and in this there are two ways that you can do it. One way is when you do connect to an Android phone to something called a iRig. I'm talking about this interface. Now
Okay.
this is the interface. It's called iRig. Now you have a mixer. Okay, you have a mixer. You have a left-right output coming from the mixer. Now this left-right channels you basically connect it to this one end of this. So you need a cable which basically has two ends on one side, and then it comes to one end. So this one end goes into this, and this goes to your mixer. And the device has one pin like this. This goes into a phone. Now this kind of setup, whatever you're going to be listening to, the output that you're going to get is going to be a mono output. It's not going to be a stereo output. So this is the basic setup that you have for. Hello, did I lose you? You there? Am I? Is the connection gone? Hello, am I heard?
Yeah.
Okay. Suddenly I lost you, so
No.
no. Okay, so I think it's better if you can be on the screen so that I can at least
Okay.
know that.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe you can mute it, yeah. Okay, so this kind of setup, as I said, works for both the iPhones and for an Android device. So this iRig comes in different types. This is a iRig HD. There's a basic iRig which is around 900 rupees. It's like a small capacitor kind of thing. So you have one end you connect the output from your mixer, other end you connect it to your phone. You're good to go. Like I said, this is a mono output. So if you want to do a stereo output, again, iPhone supports stereo output. Android phones also support stereo output. The higher end phones, the lower end phones may not support a stereo output. So for a listener, a casual listener, mono stereo doesn't make much of sense because he is going to see the listening experience. So mono is good enough. He is not going to tell, oh, this is not stereo, this is not. That's for slightly more advanced kind of listeners. And if you want to sound better, then that's an enhancement that you can go on at a later date. So, like I always say, you can grow your equipment. You don't need to start off getting everything and but putting in so much of money and resources into procuring equipments. Start very slowly. To be very frank, when I started, we had no clue what is online. For us, it was totally new. So when we started online, how I used to do? We used to have a phone. From the phone, the general earphone that comes along with the phone. That mic was held, and we used to play from another phone a track, and balance the track and my mouth in such a way that the track and me are heard. So this is how we started doing live. This was in way back in April 2020.
Okay.
Then slowly, upgraded, and now today we are in a position to do quality stereo output. So before I go into the stereo and mono, I think I need to talk to you about few important things about the pins that come generally with the cables that you have. Now you have a mixer, you have everything. The cables are very important. So basically, going into this cable part of it, you need to know a couple of things about the pins that are there in the market. Now this is a basic your headphone that comes with your phone and all it. It's a 3.5 jack, or it's called an EP. So this is usually connected to your device that you play your tracks from. Now you have an iPad, you want to play tracks. This end of the cable goes into your iPad, and the other end goes into your mixer. So this is basically an EP pin. So this is one kind of pin, and then you have something like this. This is called a phono pin or a quarter inch pin. Now this is again, this is from the track, that output that you're taking. As I told you earlier, if you have an iRig, the output from your track, from your mixer, you take it and connect it to the iRig using this. One end will be like this, and this end there'll be two on one side and one on the side. So this basically, in this also there's a difference. Without getting too technical, let me tell you about this. There are three types of pin: the TS, the TRS, and TRRS. So these three pins have different purposes. A TS is basically, now here you see, you will have one. This top part is called the pin, the top, Then you have two rings. You see three black lines, right? There are two rings there. So
Okay.
T, R, R, S. R, R is the rings. T is the tip. Ring, and S is the sleeve. So this is
Okay.
the T, R, R, S. Then you have some pins where only you will have. I don't think. Yeah, okay, I'll show it to you here. Now you see this pin. This has two lines, right? Three
Right.
lines here. So you have two rings. Whereas here you have only one ring. This is a TRS. The TRRS and this is a TR.
Yeah.
So basically, what it is all, what it means is this is a TS. This is a mono. This becomes a stereo, and this is the audio plus a microphone input. Mostly, what you have on your phones is this.
Is this
So
one?
it gives you a stereo output, and it also enables people to talk using a mic. So these are the basic pins. So now this is something that you should be careful when you start going live on your devices. You need to know what kind of pin your device accepts, and for that, actually, it depends on your device. So that probably, depending on device, you can just do some research on the net, and you will know what pin you need.
Yeah.
So this is the cabling part of it, and one very important thing is get good quality cables. You may have a very good phone, you may have a very good mixer. People spend a lot on all this, but where they compromise is on cables. Now that's a very integral part of any performance. Your cable should be good, otherwise you'll have a lot of noise coming in. You'll have static, and then your whole performance is gone. So cables are very important. And then I also told you about how you need to play your track. Now you have your source. Now let me say it's a phone. Okay. Now on one end I told you a phone has a EP pin. Okay. Now EP you can connect one end this way to the phone, and the other end you basically need two. It has to split into two for you to get that stereo output. Because most of the tracks are stereo. Good tracks will be in stereo. So this is a TRRS pin, and you connect it to one side to your EP pin. You connect it one side you connect it to the other side. You have two left-right channel. So you connect it to two channels of your mixer. So what happens is you get a stereo output. Now this is a cable. This is available on Amazon. You need to check as XLR. This is an XLR pin. XLR to EP. XLR to 3.5 mm. EP is also a 3.5 mm. You just search XLR to EP, you will find this cable. Now this will be your cable to give you input into your mixer. If you don't get this, the next alternative is to have this one end. This now what I am holding, one end of it actually is a phono, but you get the same thing where one end is EP and the other end is phono. This can also be connected to your mixer. So this is very crucial, because most people, they connect a single jack on one side and a single jack on the other side. What happens is you get a mono, you don't get the stereo effect. So the cable that you need for your device to play your karaoke tracks is very important. Have a stereo output going into your mixer. So this is something that you need. And then, like I told you, the mixer has two ways to go about it. One is you have normal phono output connected to an interface, and then you connect it to your phone. Another way, like I told you, that device, whatever I showed you earlier, that makes it mono. But if you want to go stereo, what to do? So then you need a mixer with a USB output. So there are a lot of mixers in the market today which has a USB output. So the USB output on a mixer, the pin will be like the pin on your printer. You would have seen that small square thing. No? That's the USB out from a mixer. So you need a cable which is a USB out to a normal USB on your. I have that cable somewhere here. I don't know where it is. Yeah, here. I'll show you. So this end goes into your mixer, and the other end is the USB, normal USB. This goes into your interface. Now, for iPhone, you have something called
An adapter.
adapter. This is called a Lightning to USB 3 camera adapter. So the advantage of this adapter is that you have at the same time your phone is being used for the audio device, you also have a input for battery charging. Otherwise, the battery drains out very fast.
Okay.
So iPhone is a very very useful device. This is the device. So you connect this to the phone, and the other end you connect this
So your
mixer
USB.
output coming from here. USB you connect it here like this, and you have a place to connecting your charger also. This is connected to your mixer. So with this device, you're set. You're done. You're ready to go live with stereo output. So your mixer will have your mic getting the input from the mic. It will have a mixer. Mixer will get your input from the track, and then your output goes to your phone as a stereo output, and your listeners will listen to you in stereo. So this kind of device is also available for Android. I wouldn't know exactly what is it. Like I told you, iRig, there are stereo iRigs also. So you need to figure out which works out for your device, and that's the kind of setup that you need for a basic stereo out. Now there are a lot of enhancements that you can do in terms of your mic. My suggestion would be start with a very very basic mic. You have a AKG, very decent mic from AKG at around 5,000 rupees. You have some Chinese mics at 1,000, 2,000 also. You can try it out. What I would say is instead of directly going to a professional mic like a SM58, which costs about 9,000 or 10,000 rupees, start with a very small, invest on a speaker first, on a mixer first. Get the mixer, get the interface, get the cables, then get a very, very basic mic. Start doing your regular live. Once you start performing, at a later point of time, you can enhance, get a better mic. So that way, you will not feel the burden of spending. So start small, go mono, then talk about stereo. So basically, the things that I'm talking about is to go live from your phone directly. Now you have other options of that is a whole thing by itself. Like you have a lot of software, like for example, StreamYard. You have OBS. These are all streaming softwares. OBS is a very, very, very good software where if you want to go solo, that is, you don't have people joining you on your feed like how we are doing now. Suppose I was to go solo and I want to have a lot of graphics and I want to have my phone number and all this, then there's something called OBS. You can use that as a professional broadcasting software. So you can use that and also go live. But my suggestion to keep it simple, start off going live on Facebook directly from a phone. Because what we have seen in this 2.5 years is vertical format gives you much more views than a horizontal format. Facebook does not say anywhere that you will get better viewership. They don't say any of these things. But practically we have found this out. And I did some searching, and what they say is earlier, whenever someone used to go live and all that, people used to cast from their device onto TV for better visual and audio experience. But today the phones are in HD. Most
Right.
phones have HD screens. Display is good, audio is good. So most people are connecting their headphones and watching it on a phone. Mobile devices are the maximum places where people are watching programs. So for that, the vertical format works out very well. And all ads, all the people who are pushing their ads into live feeds prefer prefer the feed to be in vertical because the ads are designed like that. So that's the reason probably there you get more viewership. But whatever it is, go live using your device phone and use a very simple setup. Start off that way and then enhance it over a period of time. So this is a very very basic way of putting across. I don't know if, what I was saying got conveyed because you need a visual element. So whatever little I had, I could show it, but I would like to see a lot of people coming live and doing.
Sure. So I'm sure whatever you shared was ரொம்ப வேல்யூபிளா இருந்திருக்கும். நிறைய விஷயங்கள் தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும் actually. Lot of things might have been a little too technical, but நீங்க I believe you are an electrical engineer as well, or electronics படிச்சிருக்கீங்க.
Civil engineer.
Okay.
Civil engineer basement ரொம்ப weak.
Okay. So I'd like to invite upon our students first. Students who would like to ask questions. So, Devansh Chandra, are you ready? How come he has left the stream?
Devansh is a
Janish.
very good singer, excellent singer. He's
Okay. He's come back again.
Special child, a very,
Yeah.
very good singer.
Yeah.
Vinod sir. Hello sir, am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Sir, I just wanted to know how to use the mixer. Like,
Vinod sir, உங்களோட audio தான் கேட்கல. You are not, your audio is not heard. உங்க side தான் problem.
hello, am I
Yeah,
audible now?
You're audible, Devansh. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just a second. I'll just probably text sir saying, asking him to. Sir, can you probably exit and try joining again? Exit. Actually, we both can hear each other. உங்களை தான் கேட்கல. Can you probably exit from the stream and try joining in again? கேட்கல. We can't hear you. Yeah. We can't hear. கேட்கல. Can you try leaving the stream and joining in again? Yeah, just a second. I think sir will be joining back again. And those of you who are watching the program, also, if you would like to ask Vinod sir some questions, you can post it as a comment on Facebook or YouTube. Sir will definitely respond to that as well, even if you're not able to come live online.
Check, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, how to use a mixer?
Okay. Very good question. Now,
it's a big
for that, I
question.
need to have a mixer. Okay, so do you have a mixer with you? You have a mixer?
No, sir.
So
you told me na you will show me the company name and send me the picture. Yeah.
So mixer basically has inputs. So they are called channels. So you have different channels on a mixer. Usually they say 4-channel mixer or a 10-channel mixer, 12-channel. So that channel is basically input, what you give into a mixer. So in a mixer, you have two types of input, basically an XLR input, and you have a this kind of a jack I was showing you earlier, right? The 1/4 inch or a phono jack. So you either have a phono input or you have an XLR, which is something like this. So this is a phono, this is an XLR.
Okay.
So this XLR inputs, if you see in a mixer, usually there'll be, if it's a, for example, a 10-channel mixer, there may be only 4 XLR inputs, and the rest of them will be this kind of input. So XLR inputs are the best because they give you a very balanced sound, and your volume levels and everything will be very good when you have an XLR input. So that's why I suggested earlier, I showed you a cable, right, for playing your tracks. This kind of a cable where you have an XLR. This is an XLR. This is called the male, and on the mixer it's XLR female. So this is an XLR male, and you have a normal EP pin which goes into your source that you're playing. How do you play your tracks for Devansh?
Sir, mostly I connect my another mobile with the speaker, with the Bluetooth speaker. And
Okay. So what you need to do is from your mobile where you have the tracks, you connect this end to your mobile, and the other end you have this something called an XLR, the left right. So you connect this to the mixer. So that way your device is connected to your mixer. The input is done. Another one more XLR, you connect your mic.
okay.
So you have a
So,
mic cable. One end of the mic cable will connect into the back of the mic, and the other end will be an XLR like this.
okay.
So
So,
that
sir,
connects in.
from mixer to the mic, there will be a XLR connected.
Cable, correct.
Okay, okay,
Okay. So I would suggest go for XLR. You also have the other phono, like I told you. You have this pins also. You have mics which support this kind of pin also. But wherever possible, go with an XLR, because
okay,
XLR gives you the best quality in terms of input. This is the best. So a mic and 2 channels for your audio device. So 3 channels will be used in your mixer when you do a solo. So choose a mixer which has at least minimum 4 XLR inputs. So that will be good. That's a very basic. So if you're going to do mostly solos, 4 is more than enough. Because if you have
okay,
additional 1 singer also, it's going to be 2 singers, 2 mics, and 2 for your tracks. So 4 should be enough.
okay, sir. And sir, how to mix? Because there are, I have seen kind of like moving. I don't know what's the name. You have to
So
move and
you have
adjust this.
okay. In a mixer, you have basically one which controls the volume. So you have either the fader type or you have knob type. There are 2 types. Now the fader type are more expensive than the knob type. When you buy a mixer, the same mixer you may, like for example in Yamaha, the mixer that I use has a knob. That costs around, I think it costs around 16 to 17,000 rupees today. The same thing with a fader. The fader is the one you move up and down. The same thing costs around 20 or 21,000. So there's a difference in price. So fader is better because fader, what happens is you have a mute button on top of the fader. So you can mute individual channels, which is not possible. And then knob, you need to completely bring the knob down to mute it. But if you're going to do solo, you don't need that option. That is only when you're going to do duets. Suppose I'm going to sing and my co-singer is going to be silent, I just need to mute that mic, right? So instead of turning the whole knob to 0, if you have just one button, you press that mic becomes mute. So that is easier. So fader has that option, but you don't need that if you're going to do solos. So go for a knob type only. And then other things that you have, that's the basic volume control. You increase, volume increases, you decrease, volume decreases. Now, other than that, you have something called EQ, which is the equalizer. So you usually have a high, mid, and low. This is a very basic mixer that I'm talking about. Will have this. Any mixer will have this. One knob for high frequencies, one for mid frequency, one for low frequency. So this is generally males have better low frequencies and women have better high frequencies. This is a general trend, but today's trend is totally different. Women are singing in male frequency and men are singing in the women frequency. So that is that's a whole different kind of issue. But generally for a male, the bass will be a little heavy. So what you can do for a male is have the lows at the 0 position, increase the treble a slight few points. So all that is basically you need to listen to the singer and take a call. You will learn that over a period of time. You learn that. And another very important thing is when you control the volume levels, your volume, the overall volume that is of the channel, you will have a light there, which will show red if you're hitting the peak. So that means your volume level is too high. So what happens is when you see that on your mixer, the output, there will be a distortion. So you try to keep that peak to the minimum. That red light can come once in a while, can come and go off. It should not be there static. That means you're hitting the highest possible level throughout your song, and that will get distorted. So in a track, there's another thing that you need to do when you're singing with a track. Usually what they do is during the BGM, that is other than the singing portions, the volume will be slightly higher, and most of the karaoke tracks, they'll bring down the volume of the instruments when the singer sings. So remember that in mind, and never, when the singer and the track is going on, do not increase the track volume then. So what will happen is when you come to the BGM portion, the noise will be too much. They will hit the peak. So keep that in mind when you're adjusting the track volume. Never adjust the track volume when the singer is singing. Adjust the track volume when the background is going so that you know the highest level for the track. Let the track reach that peak. Like peak, when I say, it should not be red throughout that whole BGM, but it can come on, the light can flicker. So adjust to that levels on the BGM part of it. You will be fine when you're singing along. So all this is basically, you need to figure it out over a period of time. It doesn't come easily. So luckily, what happens is you have all these social media platforms allow you to do a test where public is not able to listen to you, only you can listen to yourself. So when you go to Facebook, when you do a Facebook Live, you will find tests there. So you put it in test mode, or if you're not doing from a page, you're doing it from an individual profile, you have a, right next to your name there, you will find the audience that you want, who can listen to you. So there you make it only me. And then what you do is you do all this setup and go live, listen on another phone, log into your Facebook ID, listen to it on another phone. Nothing can beat that. The moment you listen to it, then you know, okay, now so this can be reduced, that can be increased, overall volume I can increase, it's not getting distorted. So over a period of time, you will be able to work out the levels. So that's the easiest way to do it.
Sir, I have heard the answer. So what do you suggest? He's on the low frequency or mid frequency?
Devansh is not got a very heavy bass. So his mids, you can just increase bass low, you can increase it a little, and mid also you can increase it a little. Because I think he's more of, he can sing, he sings a lot of Shankar Mahadevan type songs, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Arijit Singh, Shankar Mahadevan.
Yeah.
Doesn't like to sing the lower octave songs. He wants the upper wala, higher octave. So he likes to sing always the higher octave songs.
Give him some depth. Increases bass a little so that it doesn't sound, voice doesn't sound thin. Increases lows by 2 points. Increases mid by 1 point, and keep his highs as it is. Don't make any changes. So try it that way. The rest of it is purely trial and error. Just go with your ears.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for such a detailed explanation. Next we have Janashruti.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Please
So
turn
my
on the video.
question, yeah, sure.
Janashruti, are you on invisible mode?
No. I'm sitting in the storeroom because the connection is not good outside. So I don't want to turn on the window. Fine. So my question here is for Bluetooth alternatives for cables, because I think
What?
you were mentioning a lot about the cables, right? So are there any alternatives, say wireless, Bluetooth?
I wouldn't suggest wireless because there's always a lag. Bluetooth, whatever you do, see, listening to music on Bluetooth is fine. Okay, because your source, even if there's a lag, you will continue to listen in that microsecond lag, right? But when you're playing a track and singing with the track, what happens is your track, there may be a lag which gets, when you're doing live, when it's going to get broadcasted, right? So there the lag may be very, very obvious. It may not be obvious to you when you're singing there, but when it's getting broadcasted, there may be a very obvious difference. So I will not recommend Bluetooth.
And
You're talking about Bluetooth, using Bluetooth to play the tracks and then
yeah,
go live, right?
for this thing. Yeah.
So
The other,
you're talking about playing Bluetooth and playing it on speakers, or are you talking about?
to basically, if you're going live or even if you're going to record something, say
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. Vinod sir, நிறைய எக்கோ கேக்குது உங்க சைடுல இருந்து. நாங்க பேசுறதெல்லாம் when we talk it is echoing.
Then I'll do one thing. I'll put a earphone maybe.
Yeah.
1 second.
Okay, I think this should be okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Bluetooth. Yeah, you were saying something. Yeah.
Yeah, I was asking basically if we are taking even a recording on a phone. So if I'm doing it solo also, I would still, need the setup is what you're referring to, but I will have to like start from scratch. That's why I was asking if there's anything wireless that I can opt for.
Wireless, whatever you opt for, you need a mic. You need your device to capture your sound through a cable. Rest anything that you do, you're going to be directly singing and it's going to capture your sound straight, right? So for that there are apps. You do have some apps where you can sing and then but you need a soundproof environment. You can apply the effects after you sing, but that becomes a totally different ball game. Then you're getting into sound engineering basically. So track anyway, it's on a digital format. So track, you can import it very easily into your system. Now you're going live, you can't do that. So when you're recording, fine, you can use this app. There are some Dolby Surround or something like that. There's an app which makes you sound very nice. It's as good as a studio recording. You can take you record yourself, then you sing with the track. Headphones, you connect your device so that the recording device does not capture your track. So you sing with the track, and the same track you take it into the software, and then you sync both. That's one way of doing it. But that's again recording kind of setup is totally different. So basically we are talking about live. So in live, Bluetooth, I don't see how you can play Bluetooth in a live unless your mixer supports Bluetooth or play a track via Bluetooth. But then actually you need a mixer, because in live you cannot. Now you're going Facebook live, you're going through a device, say a mobile. In Facebook you're live. How do you play track into that device over Bluetooth? You cannot do that.
The other question I had was using a mic and the soundproof. They have I don't know what do you call it. They do have a soundproof thing which comes along with the audio set if we order on Amazon or anywhere. It's just a simple mic set. So you have a mic and then a soundproof noise cancelling thing.
Pop filter, that mesh kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the pop filter. So, but that doesn't make it soundproof or anything like that. It's basically a pop filter. What it basically does is when we pronounce pa, a lot of air goes out from our mouth. So that kind of creates a blow. There are some syllables which creates a blow, so that cuts that. So it actually doesn't do much, and especially if you're using a condenser mic, it picks up all kinds of sounds. So your house needs to be fairly soundproof. It's not enough if you just have this pop filter around your mic. It's not going to do any major difference to your ambient noise coming from your house. If your mom is going to play TV in the hall and you're recording in the bedroom, you will hear the news on that mic also. So So these kind of things, it again depends on the sensitivity of the mic. The better the mic is, it picks up more noise around you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. That answers my questions. Yeah.
I found.
Yeah, next I think we have Carolyn. So Janashruti and Carolyn and all these people are students of Gayak actually.
Oh, okay.
So they learn here with us. Yes, Carolyn. Can you please turn on your video?
Hi,
Yes,
Carol.
for so the materials you just talked about right now for a better quality of singing, are they expensive or do we get them in a cheap rate?
Okay, so you, like I told you, everything has the cheaper version and the costly version. Okay, you have, for example, a mixer. Okay, let's start from the basics. Mic. You have a mic for 1,000 rupees. You have mics for a lakh plus. Okay, now let's not go into the lakh plus at all. Not go anywhere there. But a basic dynamic mic. Let's not get into condenser mics are available. Condenser mics are used in studios. Problem with condenser mic, like I was talking to this earlier person also, I was telling is condenser mic picks up all kinds of noises, ambient noises. So you go for something like a SM58, which is a professional mic used on stages and all that. Those kind of mics pick up what is right in front of them. You remove the mic, even if you keep it away at this distance, it will not pick up what you're talking. So those mics are safe when you're doing it from a non-studio environment. So the SM58, a wired SM58 mic costs about 10,000 rupees. So that's how it is. So you have something for 1,000 rupees, you have something for 10,000. So you need to figure out how much you can afford. And initially, hang off it. Like, I don't know if people have told you, there's a lot of noise coming in. Okay. So when you learn driving, people tell you don't buy a car immediately. They say practice your driving on another old vehicle. When you learn to a certain extent, then buy a new car. It's something like that. Don't get into anything right at the beginning, buy everything, lavishly spend, have everything, and then learn on it. Don't do that. Start small. Use a basic mic. A lot of these Chinese mics are good enough for our purpose. Buy them 1,500, 2,000 rupees, you will get a good mic. Just do some search online. Start small, and then over a period of time, you keep upgrading your equipment.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. Next, we have Mr. Ramesh, one of yet an adult student at Gayak. Despite age, இதெல்லாம் லிமிட்டேஷனே இல்லாம ரொம்ப சின்சியரா வருவாரு கிளாஸுக்கு. Something which I really appreciate. Yes, sir.
Hi, Ramesh.
Please.
Come back.
Mute ல இருக்கீங்க. Sir.
Sorry. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
I have one request and one question. So
Okay.
you explained about the mic and mixer and all that. So time permitting, could you draw how they are to be connected and all that, so I get an idea, broad idea, because I have nothing, no knowledge of, and I joined a few minutes late. Apologies for that. So
Okay,
I didn't
okay.
catch the initial bit of what you were saying. So going through Amazon and all that, through YouTube and all that, I tried jotting down how these connections work and stuff like that. So there is no mixer in this scheme of things. So I'm just trying
Okay.
to see if you could help me with
One second. Probably நான் அவர் இதுல போடுறேன். 1 minute.
Yeah, just put it on.
A lot of work he has done.
Condenser microphone, you have a microphone cable, iRig. Okay. So from where are you playing your mobile phone? Best headphone. USB. Okay, this is a very basic kind of setup. A mixer will help you do this much more easier way. Because what happens is, in a mixer, all your input comes to one place.
Okay.
Now here you have your inputs, you have your singing and everything coming in a different, the routing is different here. So in a mixer, what happens is you can have effects and all that onto your microphone. You can control individual volumes, your track volume, everything you can adjust right on one device. So when you're singing, it's easier when you have everything in one place instead of monitoring it in two different places. Now your microphone, you have to control it somewhere. Your track, you have to control it somewhere. Then when you're going live, there are people sending messages. You need to read that message. So it makes a little. It's a more complicated kind of a setup. In a mixer, what happens is your input, everything comes to your mixer. So your mixer controls becomes your only control that you need to operate. So you have a knob to control your input, to say your track, karaoke track. You have a knob to control your mic output. So this setup makes it much more easier, and you can add individual, like you have effects only for one channel. You need effects only for your vocals, right? You don't need effects on your track. So you can make your track effects 0 and have effects on your vocals. So all this is possible when you have a mixer.
All right.
So it's a very simple, you don't need a diagram. Let me put it to you in a most simple way. You have a mixer. Mixer has various inputs. Now let's say you are going to use a track and you are going to sing solo. So you have a track, you have a microphone. Now from the track, when you use a mixer, what you can do is to get the stereo effect assuming you're playing from the phone, you have an input into your phone. The output part of it, split it into 2. Take it to your mixer. So you have mic 1, track 2. So 3 pins goes into your mixer. Now from the mixer you have output. If you have a USB output mixer, then you need nothing more. You just need an iRig, connect to iRig, connect to the phone. But if you don't have a USB output, if it's without a USB output, then you need a sound card. From the mixer, you need to take the cable, connect it to the sound card. From the sound card, you have a USB out, connect it to iRig, and then you connect it to your device.
The question that I had is how can the room be prepared, because the average Indian room is going to be noisy. So what needs to be done to prepare the room?
Preparing the room, having a lot of curtains helps, and an empty room has more echo. So see that you are not in an empty room. A regular room, like for example, I do it from my bedroom. Now in bedroom you have a bed which is a good sound absorber, so it doesn't echo doesn't come. Curtains are there. So if that kind of a setup is good enough, only thing the environment or outside your room, how much noise comes, that really matters. So you need to somehow figure out how to keep people in your house a little silent during those times. Otherwise, find the quietest room in your house and try to minimize the echo. If you find, now for example, the room that you're sitting in, if you see that you have echo there, now there's a curtain rod behind you where the curtain is not hung, so you put a curtain there. It will cut the echo to a certain extent. And most of the time when you're using a dynamic mic, not a condenser mic, like I said, condenser mic takes all kind of noises. It's very, very sensitive. But the other SM58 kind of mics, they take only what is at the center. So if you remove it out from your this way and talk, actually you cannot hear. So that will not pick up so much of ambient noises. And again, there a mixer helps because your all this echo, everything will get cut because your only the mic input is only going to go to your device. So yeah, mixer helps in all ways.
Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Ramesh sir. Yeah. So I guess some of them couldn't actually join for the thing. We were anticipating a few more to join. But yes, it was a really very, very ரொம்ப ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ். நிறைய விஷயங்கள் ஆக்சுவலி தெரிஞ்சிருந்தோம். பட் ப்ராபப்ளி பீப்புள் வில் ஹாவ் டு ரீப்ளே திஸ் வீடியோ டு மேக் நோட் ஆஃப் த ஃபைனர் டீடைல்ஸ். And but really a lot of wealth of information. நிறைய நம்ம இன்ஃபேக்ட் படிச்சா கூட நெட்ல there are too many jargon terms there. புரியவே புரியாதையோ என்னடா இதுன்னு சொல்லி மூடி வச்சுட்டு போறவங்க தான் வந்து அதிகம் ஆக்சுவலி.
எனக்கும் இது வந்து ரொம்ப புதுசான ஒரு எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ். ஏன்னா இட்ஸ் வெரி டிஃபிகல்ட் டு கன்வே சர்டன் திங்ஸ் ஆன்லைன். இப்போ நேர்ல வந்து இங்க உட்காந்து பார்க்கறத எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணது they will understand it much better. பட் ஆன்லைன்ல இது எப்படி, அதான் இப்பதான் புரியுது இந்த ஆன்லைன் கிளாஸஸ்லாம் வந்து why 2020 பேட்ச் ஜோக்ஸ்லாம் வந்து இப்பதான் நிறைய புரியுது.
கரெக்ட். பட் ஸ்டில் யூ டிட் a really splendid job I must say. எல்லாத்தையும் கூட எடுத்து கூட காமிச்சீங்க. இல்லாட்டி சும்மா if you were to say simply condenser micனாலோ எதுனாலோ whatever இந்த கேபிள் அந்த கேபிள்னா யாருக்கும் ஒன்றும் புரிஞ்சிருக்காது. So you took the trouble to at least to show up everything. இது பார்க்க இப்படிதான் இருக்குங்கிறது because only when you look at things we understand, right?
And ரமேஷ் இப்ப கேட்ட மாதிரி இந்த டயகிராம்ஸ் இதெல்லாம் வந்து probably if, I can prepare some slides next time when someone அந்த மாதிரி வேணா photographs போடலாம் இல்லையா? இதுல photographs எல்லாம் போடுறதுக்கு முடியுமா?
we have provision in StreamYard to show all that. கண்டிப்பா பண்ணலாம். videos everything.
The moderator has to do it, right? It will not be
I'll have to do it. But that definitely is ரொம்ப ஒரு beneficial-ஆ இருந்திருக்கும் and we are hoping to have more sessions with you on Gayak. ஏன்னா நல்லா சொல்லி கொடுக்கறவங்க ரொம்ப ரொம்ப கம்மி to be honest. When we hunt for tutors அந்த கஷ்டம் எனக்கு தெரியும்.
And also
so இனிமேலுக்கு உங்களை விட மாட்டோம். kind of you will be a monthly thing on our channel.
எங்க நான் வந்து கஷ்டப்பட்டேன். ஏன்னா இது வந்து யூடியூப்ல போய் when most of the times we search எல்லாமே வந்து they are அப்ராட்ல இருந்து அப்லோட் பண்ணாங்க. அவங்க யூஸ் பண்ற டெர்மினாலஜி அங்க கிடைக்கிற ஐட்டம்ஸ் and what you get in the market here are totally different. So இதெல்லாம் வந்து காம்ப்ரமைஸ் and most of the times they are talking from the point of view of a content creator as in speech, they are not talking
not from as an end user ஆ சொல்லணும். அப்பதான் வந்து புரியும். like what I normally say, மத்தவங்க புரிஞ்சுக்கணும்னு பேசணும், நமக்கு தெரியும்னு பேசக்கூடாது. that's what so அது you did a really
எவ்வளவு தூரம் நான் பேசுறேன் அது அந்த கிரைட்டீரியா மீட் ஆச்சுன்னு தெரியல.
Okay, I think we have a student who has joined, Rishi Mannava, I believe. Rishi, thank God, we were just going to wind up. I think among US.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, actually.
So what was your question, Krishna? Yeah, please turn on your video, ma.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Actually, I joined late. I thought like some class was going on still. But since it is winded up, I will join the next class, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Any questions irundha kekkalam, sir is there?
Sure. No questions. Just wanted to.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, sir. Romba thanks once again. Really hoping to to have many more in the madri interactive sessions. And probably we should be நிறைய பேர் participate பண்ணனும். இத பார்த்துட்டு hopefully we get more participants நிறைய இந்த மாதிரி. ஏன்னா knowledge is something வந்து நிறைய பேர் சொல்லி கொடுக்கிறதுக்கு இல்ல இன்னைக்கு. to be honest, என்னதான் நம்ம வீடியோ இது பார்த்தாலும் நம்ம directly when we learn from somebody, the experience itself is like totally different.
Over the period of time I will also figure out how to present better because this is a new experience for me.
But speaking and making sense to so many people. Somebody, Mrs. Saraswati has joined. Do you have any questions? Please post in the chat box. If you have questions, I will add you to the stream, else we'll be winding up.
Actually, we never touched upon the stage singing part of it. Anga varave illa.
Yeah, adu number episode 2 probably we should be doing. Somebody is joined under the name Saraswati. Who's that? Camera video சரியா தெரியல. பாப்பா இவா எனக்கு தெரியும். Okay, thank you so much. மாமி உங்களோட feedback please சொல்லுங்க. Thank you so much for joining. நான் யாரப்பா பேஸ் தெரியல, so sorry. And the super singer la Hari Krishnan Payam was a contestant, right? I don't know if you remember. He came up till the semi-finals. Avaloda party. எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப she is my family friend actually. கேக்கல நீங்க பேசுறது. ஹலோ. It was all very useful. Okay, thank you so much. Comment போட்டிருக்காங்க. உங்க பேசுறது வந்து கேக்கல actually. So would like to see Hari also join next time probably. ரொம்ப very nice ஒரு wonderful singer actually. அந்த பையன் இந்த வயசுக்கே ரொம்ப பாட்டும் நானே அந்த மாதிரி பாட்டெல்லாம் அசாத்தியமா பாடுவான். அவ்வளோ ஒரு தொண்டை ஒரு கணீர்னு பேசும். பிலாங்ஸ் டு தட் அந்த டிஆர் மகாலிங்கம் அந்த ஒரு ஹை பிச்ட் ரேஞ்ச் he sings usually.
ஆக்சுவலி இந்த மீடியா பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் வந்து நிறைய பேர் யங்ஸ்டர்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்ண மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க. அது என்னமோ ஐ டோன்ட் திங்க் தே ரியலைஸ் த பெனிஃபிட்ஸ் ஆஃப் இட். ஏன்னா ஒரு ஆடியன்ஸ் கிட்ட நம்ம எப்பவுமே வந்து ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணச்ச எல்லாமே நல்லா பாடுவோம். ஒரு லைவ் ஆடியன்ஸை போய் பார்க்கச்ச மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த டைம் அந்த டென்ஷன்ல தான் நிறைய மிஸ்டேக்ஸ் நடக்கும்.
Correct.
This is a way to get over the tension because we are starting off by not going live on stage. We are sitting at home. நமக்கு பிடிச்ச ஒரு என்வாயன்மெண்ட்ல நம்ம கம்ஃபர்டபுளா இருக்கிற ஒரு இடத்துல இருந்து பாடுறோம். ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அதுவே வந்து கொஞ்சம் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் லெவல்ஸ் கம்மி பண்ணும். And then over a period of time, when you sing to new people, or you don't know people who are coming and watching you, but you're singing to an audience, right? So அந்த stage fear வந்து over a period of time கம்மி பண்ணலாம். Definitely. Going and deep end of the pool போய் விடாம இது கொஞ்சம் கிராஜுவலா வந்து இது ஒரு and we know how we sound, we know the inputs that we are getting from our friends and relatives. But strangers என்ன சொல்றாங்க நம்ம சிங்கிங் பத்தி அப்படின்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும்னா இது ஒரு நல்ல பிளாட்ஃபார்ம். ஃபேஸ்புக்ல போய் பாடினோம்னா அவ்வளோ யாரோ யூஎஸ்ல நமக்கு தெரியாத ஒருத்தர் உட்காந்து ஏதோ ஒரு கமெண்ட் சொல்றாங்க. அது ஒரு நம்மளுக்கு ஒரு ஃபீட்பேக். அது
That is a feedback, very true. நம்ம டிவி ப்ரோக்ராம்ல பாடினா கூட அந்த மாதிரி வராது. Nobody we cannot வீட்ல உட்கார்ந்து ஏதோ பேசிப்பாங்களா இருக்கும், but we may not know, right, what they think.
Different perspective, no? So இப்போ நான் வந்து எனக்கு ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொல்லணும்னா when I was singing mostly கிஷோர் குமார் சாங் ஹிந்தியில பாடுறத கிஷோர் குமார் சாங்ஸ் தான் பாடுவேன். பட் இந்த லைவ்ல வந்த அப்புறம் தான் முகமது ரஃபி சாங் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி ஒரு தைரியமா பாட ஆரம்பிச்சது. Because a lot of people said it's sounding good and I got encouraged and now I started singing a lot of Rafi Saab songs. Okay. So it opens new perspectives and
platforms,
you tend to try out new things. So yeah, people should come on.
Definitely. Okay, sir.
So
all right, thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Yeah, and we hope to have more sessions with you in future as well. Sure. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.